Hello and welcome to A Star to Steer Her By, a Star Trek podcast. My name is Caitlin, and with me today are...
Jake,
Chris,
and Ames.
And...
Justus!
Hello, Justus!
Fuck are you?
How did you get into this house?
Somebody didn't lock their doors well.
Oh, no.
No.
We're actually being held hostage. Please send help.
Is this
I
just a new
need
Amazon
to be
thing?
on this podcast.
This is Amazon Key, right?
Yeah,
That's
I think
right.
so.
Yeah. You just let yourself in.
I let myself in and I interrupt your podcast.
But he didn't bring a package. Like, what the hell?
These episodes had a package. Oh.
Heyo. Yeah.
So we're excited to have a guest star this week.
Our first guest star. That's like...
And a star he is. Justus. Justus is an internet man.
I'm an internet man. I work for a lovely YouTube friend named MrMobile, Michael Fisher, and I do stuff for him. I work behind the scenes there. Subscribe to MrMobile on YouTube and like us on Facebook, and that'll get a good plug. So
That's
we'll get,
worth all the money he's paying us to entertain you.
That's right. I'm gonna get all 10 followers.
Hashtag SEO.
Oh, God, that reminds me. If you're here because you're a friend of Justus, we're a bit potty-mouthed.
Yeah.
Fair warning.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like you've never met me before.
I know we're a Star Trek podcast, but we're, of course, now at this point, Star Trek is
Cunt, fuck, bitch, tit, shit, hole, cunt. Did I say cunt twice?
Yes.
Okay.
Why are you...
That's our...
We're just getting out of the way, Chris.
Why are you, apologizing for the adult language we're about to use for
Because
adults? Are you friends with lots of 10-year-olds, Justus?
I hope to be.
Look,
Weird. Weird. Can we cut that? Should we cut that?
Oh, that's wonderful.
in the
You got
very...
the best jokes.
In 9 years. When,
my nephew's 12, and I know a lot of his friends. I don't know if they'll listen to this podcast.
I hope they don't.
Yeah, I hope not, too.
Especially not now. Because in the very first episode, we let people know that despite being a Star Trek podcast, we're, going to use adult
Because
language.
we're a Star Trek podcast.
But Chris, this is episode 59!
Right. But people who don't normally listen
It's
to
like
us
69, but...
Chris, is this really happening?
might be tuning in
Are you
because
really
Justus
doing
is here.
this?
Yes, I am being a
Listen,
responsible
they use
grown-up.
the F word, or they drop F-bombs on Star Trek all the time.
But
True.
also,
Yes.
we are labeled explicit.
Yeah,
If these dumb fucks didn't realize we were going to say lots of
And we
naughty
were
fuck words...
talking about molesting children, apparently.
Like this episode.
Oh, right.
I don't know how to play
Does
that
fit
game.
right in.
Oh, God. This is all gone
Do you
so
have a
wrong.
stick about yay long and yay thick?
They were strangely good at handling the balls, though.
You know it.
Anyway.
Oh, we should talk about
Before-
them episodes.
Yeah, well, before we launch in, everyone meet Justus. Justus, what are you doing here?
I'm here because we're talking about an episode called Justus at some point. Also, I've known all of these people for a few years, and my son, his middle name is Riker, so I'm kind of here for.
You're kind of a big deal.
I'm kind of a big deal when it comes to Star Trek.
How's his beard coming along?
He's growing it. He does have a nice command onesie. It's got the 4 pips, so it's going to be Riker, in the future.
Captain Riker. Captain of the Titan, I think? Isn't he
Yes.
At the end of Nemesis?
Yep.
Oh.
And there's a novel series that covers his exploits.
How very novel.
Ah.
That's the kind of stuff that I bring to this.
He's the troublemaker. That's why he's sitting by Jake and I.
That's right. We have the bad kids.
Now Ames are outnumbered.
This is
It's finally
the back of
happened.
the bus over here.
We're gambling on this end of the table.
How did we allow this to happen?
I don't know.
Well, let's talk about the episodes this week.
Well, this week
What's this week, Caitlin?
are Lonely Among Us and Justus. Wow, I've already forgotten what Lonely Among Us was about. Oh, yes. Okay. So, Lonely Among Us is basically Journey to Babel.
Yep.
But also Wolf in the Fold.
A little bit.
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. Basically, the Enterprise is acting as an envoy, right? Is that the word you would use?
They're just shuttling them.
They're transporting.
That's the
They're
word, yeah.
transporting ambassadors from two warring cultures who hate each other. They kind of are mongoose and snake, assholes. They're called, hold on, Soleil?
Yes.
Soleil and Antica. And Antica surprised me because I felt like the first 6 people that said it were saying like Antica, and then one person was like Antica with like a very like pronounced k. So I was surprised. But anyway, the Soleil and the Antica hate each other, and they also both happen to be vying for admission into the Federation of Planets.
I don't like either of them in the Federation.
No, they suck.
Bad idea.
They suck.
That's okay. They'll work it out in Parliament.
And yes, and that's where they're on their way to Parliament, the neutral planet that is hosting the delegates, to see if either or both can be part of the Federation.
Let's just call it Babel.
Parliament. Parliament. How did he say it?
Parliament.
Parliament. Yeah, that's it. He said Parliament. That's my fucking Captain Picard impression always.
That's Sean Connery.
I know, but every week I feel like I fucking wind up doing it, and it's never correct. So, anyway, while they're hanging out, picking up delegates, they pass this weird, like, energy cloud. Holy shit, not another energy cloud. And while they're driving by it, they're like, let's get close to it to see if we can get some sensors on that bad boy. Well, they done fucked up because the energy being from this energy cloud jumps into the Enterprise and zaps Worf. It then jumps from Worf to Dr. Crusher in sickbay and eventually makes its way to Picard. And then, like, wants them to return back to its energy cloud thing. So they turn around the ship. There's a talk of some mutiny. They're like, Captain Picard is clearly unfit, but like, is it too soon to say so? Fucking stupid. They get back to the cloud, and the entity announces itself and is like, me and the captain are going to beam into the cloud. It's going to be great. Didn't actually sound like that.
What are you, Bem?
Oh, no.
Speaking of Bem.
We're going to beam into the cloud.
Oh god, that's what it was. A Tonberry cloud. They do. They beam into the cloud, and Picard is just transported. He becomes energy, and he's like, no, fuck this, and like reaches out to the ship with his like
Pee.
consciousnness,
Oh.
and also his pee. And they are able to use the transporter to like magically save him and
Jigger.
rejigger him back into Picard, and then we close on a great haha. The cat monster ambassadors ate one of the lizard monster ambassadors.
Yeah. Meanwhile, there's been a murder on board, but Picard's too tired to deal with it.
Yeah.
That will
Chris,
have been the second murder, but
Chris.
I forgot to mention that. We talked.
I've got your title for this week. This week's episode brought to you by the letter P.
That's true.
Boom!
I like it.
Oh god, it works on many levels.
It does!
And that's basically it. We can talk more about it later. That's the gist.
Will we, though?
Yeah, I think so. Then we watched Justus, and Justus
And us watched Justus.
Justus also watched Justus. It was basically Shore Leave meets the Apple. So apparently we're in like a star system where the Federation has decided to do some colonizing, and there's like a neighboring planet where everybody loves to like do lots of sex. They never fight. There's no war. Everything's great. It's beautiful. That is a reenactment of the sounds it makes when they have sex with their really tight balls on this
Foley
planet.
work, go.
Thank you. So, everybody knows that this is like a sex planet, but they're like, we should see how great this is for Shore Leave. Let's send some adults, and let's also send Wesley, the boy, Crusher, to see if it's also suitable for kids. Now, you've just basically said that these people fuck at the drop of a hat. Any hat. But you're like, go ahead, Wesley. Go get him, Tiger.
Don't bring a hat, Wesley.
If you drop that hat, you get banged. So, everybody beams down. Everyone on the planet is scantily clad and very attractive.
The planet of jogging as well.
Yeah, everybody
Frolicking.
runs everywhere. Prancer-sizing, I would say.
like that.
Prancer-sizing.
You guys remember Prancer-sizing? Oh, we're sharing a video about Prancer-sizing. Don't
Yes.
worry, you're getting
Planet
it.
of sweaty groins.
Yeah, it's a really sweaty
Well,
planet.
that's our planet, too, sometimes.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
Currently.
Warm today.
It is. But anyway, so this planet, it's like Eden, guys, which is always good news. And
I wonder if it has one fatal flaw.
it turns out It does.
Oh no!
And
Every time.
Well, and actually, we can talk about this later too. It's a flaw, but only because one of them fucks it up. Basically, the way it works on this planet is the reason why everybody is so great and so good to each other and free love and happiness and bullshit is because there's a randomly selected portion of the planet every day where if you break any rules in that section, you are punished by death. Doesn't matter if you're walking on the grass or stealing somebody's stuff, whatever it is, you get put to death.
Building a human centipede.
You just literally made me gag.
I think they'd be into it on that planet.
Well, yeah, but you just
Gagging?
make sure it's risky. Well, yeah, obviously.
Anyway.
They have no gag reflexes there. You know it.
Yikes. This is why synopses take so long, Justus.
Yeah, literally, every time.
Don't look behind the curtain.
So, shockingly enough, the first thing that Wesley does after meeting his new friends... Also, did anyone else think it was weird that the kids are more scantily clad than the adults? I thought that was weird. So, Wesley's playing with his new friends, teaching them how to play catch, because apparently they don't play catch because they're too busy finger-banging each other or whatever they do on this planet. Wesley, like a fucking galumphing idiot asshole, jumps into a fucking greenhouse and destroys it utterly. And, oh no, guys, it's the fucking area where they're making sure nobody's breaking any rules, and he just broke a big rule. Oh my god.
They are way too protective of plants on that world.
So the police, or the mediators, show up, and they're like, too bad you have to die, Mr. Bond. And... basically, the whole second half of the episode is like, oh, I'm not going to let Wesley die. Oh, no, don't let Wesley die. And like...
Don't forget God.
Yeah, well, I didn't forget God. I was leaving room for God.
God's been here with us all along.
Hey, leave some space for Jesus,
Yeah,
everybody.
there it is. So, the other thing is that the subplot that's happening on the Enterprise is that there's some little energy... sphere ball thing that came into the ship from from like a ship or a space station or something that's sort of it's like kind of transparent. It exists here but also in many other dimensions. We don't know that until the end of the episode, but spoilers. They shoot an energy ball at the ship. It mind fucks Data, like literally, I guess,
Really
and basically is judging them to see how they'll act.
So it's Q?
Yeah.
But way less whimsical and fun.
Yeah. And so ultimately they're like, well, we either let Wesley die, which I think we were all in favor of,
We certainly
more or
were.
less,
I think I will
or
make it known early. I am a Wesley apologist.
Ooh, this is going to be a fun conversation.
who did you invite here?
Thank God, though, a
broke
differing
in.
point of view.
Oh, that's right. I mean, why did you let him break in here? Well, anyway, most of us were pro Wesley death. Or the other option is, break the Prime Directive, get involved, and stop it happening. Obviously, Wesley will not die, but
Well, God might blow up their ship, though.
it's true, but he doesn't.
Oh.
No, that's true.
And ultimately, the inspiring speech by the lawyer who has nothing left to lose at the end of a movie with a courtroom scene, Picard gives this beautiful thing about, like, justice, blah, blah, I don't remember what the fuck he says. But anyway, they're allowed to leave and go their separate ways, and everybody's happy, except those of us who wanted to see Wesley not continue. And I think that's basically...
Those are some episodes.
that's it.
Another not great week.
Yeah, but it wasn't horrible. Like, I thought, I didn't hate it. I'm actually really enjoying this series and feeling really, really, really positive about even the shitty episodes. Oh, except for that racist fucking awful one.
Like, the first season is not great in a lot of regards, but these are kind of the opposite end of the coin, which is Lonely Among Us is super boring and not a lot happens, and it's not good. And on the opposite side, Justus is really, really memorably terrible. Just completely incomprehensible how... every single choice that was made in this, which was probably Roddenberry, it gets to the point where you're like, why did they think that was the right thing to go with?
Yeah, I agree.
So, Lonely Among Us. Oh,
Yeah.
We have got to
So
start with the B plot.
Oh my god.
Because what is going on?
First Star Trek appearance of Mark Alamo,
I would not have
who
recognized
goes on to
him.
play Gul Dukat.
Gugaga?
Yes. Mystery Goo Goo Gaga.
So who was he in this?
He was one of the cat monsters.
Badard.
God bless you.
I'm sorry.
Amy's having a stroke.
And apostrophe D, apostrophe D.
Isn't that literally Lur's wife in Futurama?
Oh.
No, but it is Welsh.
No, he does say her name once or twice, and it is something like there's no vowels. It really is like Ndunda or something. I kind of wonder if it's a reference to that.
Could
now.
It might be.
Could be.
I
Yeah.
doubt it.
But yeah, so they've got to I get why the plot exists because
Why don't we tell them what the B plot is?
Well, you did. They're shuttling these enemy races to a
Snakes and monkeys.
snakes and monkeys to a
Monkeys.
to a neutral world because they both want to be in the Federation, but they both hate each other's guts. So that's got to be worked out before they can even consider. Before the Federation can even consider, their applications. And I get it. It exists because there had to be a reason that A, they couldn't hang around the cloud, and B, why it was weird that Picard wanted to go back. But it was so bizarre and executed so poorly. It really feels like they could have come up with anything else, just fall back on the old, because this is still in the period of a lot of just being classic Star Trek, but
Well,
weird.
classically, they would have. In the original story, they didn't have this stinking conference thing. It was another dilithium problem episode.
See?
And
there
then,
we go!
DC Fontana added in the conference thing, and everyone said, so you just read the Journey to Babel? And she says, oh, that was unintentional.
She was like, yeah, but not as good, so don't
Yeah,
worry.
Yeah.
I took out all the interesting parts of
And
Journey to
added
Babel.
really bad masks.
Like, it
really bad.
it could have been...
Not as bad as the
Tellarite?
Tellarites.
Ooh.
But yeah, it could have been a delivery. It could have been... I don't know, just...
This is like Star Trek. It's like that Shakespearean insult generator.
Yeah.
It's like, is it a dilithium problem? Is it medicine that needs to be delivered? Is someone on your crew really desperately in need of a fuck?
Is it Scotty? It's always Scotty.
And
Scotty.
And then it just turns their rivalry into, comedy shenanigans.
But it's like murder. It's
Yeah, and then they literally use a murder as a
Not just
punchline.
murder. It's murder. They murdered and ate because they say
Yeah.
that they brought a lizard thing to the cook, and they think it might have been one of the delegates.
Now, what cook looks at this large humanoid and says like, "Oh, you guys want to eat this? Yeah, sure. Let me just carve off some scales for you."
How do you prepare human-sized
I think they asked for it to be
monster?
braised.
They have a big oven, okay?
I would think spit roasting would be the best. Hey-o!
Could be.
Maybe you just kind of dip them in the warp core for just a second.
Al
Yeah.
dente.
There's like a big fryer.
Yeah.
It's a big vat of,
Like a big Soleil fritter.
yeah.
All right,
there
well,
you go.
I would eat this.
Yeah.
I would eat that snake human.
Probably tastes like chicken, right?
It's great.
But that was just like that. I was astounded by how. I mean, it was stupid, but then the punchline occurs, which elevates the whole thing to just the most no, not the most. One of the most amazingly poor decisions in the history of the franchise.
Oh, but don't worry, Picard's too sleepy to deal with.
Yeah, that's the other
Here's
thing.
the thing, right? Because that's they're subverting our expectations. Because in Journey to Babel, there was a murder.
Yeah.
And that became a big chunk of the plot.
Yeah.
Whereas in this, there was a murder, and it's just an afterthought. And
But it got
Riker,
us-
you handle it.
It got us Data trying to figure out.
Oh yeah,
What was
it's
going
true.
on.
The first appearance of Sherlock Data.
Oh, well, that's the other murder. That's
That's the first murder.
What was he? Commander Singh?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I wonder if he's any relation.
To Khan Noonien Singh?
Yeah, two Sings.
Probably not. I feel like
Yeah.
Singh's
Yeah.
a pretty common
Fairly,
surname.
yeah.
Yeah. Also, this
I
guy
know.
looked Indian, and Khan was definitely not Indian, despite being Indian.
Yes.
Was he Hispanic or was he white? I'm having trouble remembering.
I thought he was
I see what you
Norwegian.
did there. But yeah, no, it is like that B plot is terrible, but because of the way it ends, becomes a thing of wonder and amazement. Plus, the plot itself was just like, what's going on here?
Yeah, it's the most generic, like an alien attack on the Enterprise can be.
But they do everything wrong. But they do everything wrong. Like fucking Bev, if you're having memory problems,
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
report it.
Come the fuck on!
Why are all
That enraged
doctors
me.
terrible at their jobs?
See, okay. All right, so let's just walk this through for our listeners. So, Beverly Crusher, the doctor on the USS Enterprise,
and mother of Wesley the Boy Crusher.
the chief medical officer. She examines Worf, who has been knocked unconscious by being electrocuted for no reason.
Yeah.
But he was actually just getting an alien downloaded. And then she gets electrocuted, and then she's possessed by an alien. And while possessed by an alien, she walks onto the bridge, is really creepy.
She visits Wes first.
She visits Wes.
Which she never does.
Creepy.
Wow, Mom, you seem to give a shit about the things I'm studying today. That's unusual.
Wow. And then she goes to the bridge, does some weird shit, touches a computer, and
Inappropriately.
Yeah, she's like a nasty massage away from being really creepy to everything on the bridge.
She's like, oh, this is the bridge.
And then the alien downloads out of her into the ship. And then she wakes up and has no memories of it. And Data's like, hey, doctor, are you okay? You seem weird and confused. And she's like, no, I'm fine. You just had a blackout for an hour.
Yeah.
And woke up on the bridge.
And
you talked to your son.
That might be something to mention to other people. To be like, I might be having a medical problem.
Especially in regards to having just watched somebody else have this same problem.
Yeah.
Well, but she didn't get to know that he was having problems remembering because she's
She immediately took on that guy.
Right.
I guess that's true.
Either way, irresponsible.
I'm not being an apologist.
Bullshit.
I was fascinated by her, what I have dubbed the over 9,000 cap.
Yeah.
She had this weird...
Her Dragon Ball Z
eyepiece.
thing.
Oh yeah, it looked like the Vegeta thing.
Yeah.
I don't think...
It's brilliant.
I don't remember that, so I imagine we don't see it again or don't see it often, but that's all I could think was it's over 9,000. Fair enough.
I don't know what that
Bev.
is, but I'm sure it's
just a
terrible.
Dragon Ball Z reference.
I don't know that.
Yeah.
That's fine. You're not missing anything.
Yeah, no.
I don't.
It's the soap opera of animes.
Anime.
It takes a whole season for one
Is
5-minute
it
fight.
anime or anime?
It's anime.
Anime.
But no one says that. They say anime.
I see.
I mean, the Japanese say that. They say anime. But, Americans usually say anime.
I see. Okay. So, everyone's wrong. So if I said anime, I would be just as wrong as the people.
Just in a different way.
Just as wrong as the Japanese, yes.
But, yeah, no, it like you said, it's a very generic sort of thing. It's an energy being. It didn't mean to cause any harm and this and that. And it just feels like we've kind of done this before. Not this exact way, but we've done it. And it's... a lot of this season so far has seemed to be if not directly recycling plots like
Naked
the Naked Now, it's just recycling ideas in some vague way, and it's just been we've seen this. You aren't even putting a unique twist on it. Give us something.
Yeah, this is as vague as a vague reproduction gets. I have no idea what the intention of that creature was.
Well, it claims it got scooped up by accident somehow. Which you'd think that if that cloud is full of energy beings, you'd think they'd be lousy with them, not accidentally scooped up one.
Yeah, if they pick up one and he's like, I don't know what's going on here, you think he might be like, hey, I've taken over one of your crew members. What's going on here?
Yeah. Instead of all
Can we
this
turn around
skullduggery.
and drop me off?
Yeah.
And kidnap Picard for no fucking reason.
No, it's because they were of the same type, adventure and...
Yeah, the alien wanted to go on vacation with Picard.
I don't think
Doesn't
Picard was
everybody?
into it.
The
Claimed he
alien
was.
claims that he
Well-
was. But then, an hour into they can't hear from Picard once he's back in the energy cloud, Troy is like, I feel him.
Thanks, Troy.
Yeah.
Good job. Thanks for being
Troy
here.
had a couple lines this episode.
She got to hypnotize people.
Yeah.
Because apparently hypnosis is a valid psychotherapy in the future
fuck.
still.
Guys, we forgot to use Troy again. What are we gonna do?
Let's make her hypnotize people.
Brilliant!
Oh, God. You think she made Worf cluck like a chicken before getting useful information out of him?
Wouldn't you?
No, because he might find the video and fucking murder me.
I don't know. That cloud knocked him the fuck out. He's getting his ass kicked by everything.
It's already started.
I'd also like to give a shout out this week for two things, actually. The return of O'Brien, who we haven't seen since the pilot.
Still
is
doesn't have a name.
He's first security guard, according to the credits.
That's
Nice. And also the off-screen but mention of our old hero, our favorite character,
Chief Engineer
Sheriff Engineer Argyle.
Yeah.
I cannot
Not seen,
wait
but mentioned.
for his big moment in season 3.
Oh, yeah.
That's just so
Man,
good.
I can't believe he got abducted by the Borg. And then...
And then single-handedly, just took down a whole cube by seducing that one key Matrix person.
Yeah, that's right.
So good.
Yeah, Argyle.
Man.
We hardly knew thee.
But yeah, there was just really... I mean, is there anything of interest with this one?
Sherlock Holmes is a
there we go.
To everyone.
Data discovers Sherlock Holmes.
Yep, and then Data gets addicted to cigarettes or pipe smoking.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Quaaludes
you can't even smoke in a goddamn bar room today, but yet you can smoke a fucking pipe in the conference room.
You know what it is?
Vaping.
That's exactly. It's not actually a pipe. It's a vape.
So Star Trek invented vaping.
Yes. I don't know because Yar did it's stinky.
Just like assholes do about vape.
Well, you know what it is.
All the time.
To be more accurate, Data made the vape scent really cheap pipe tobacco, so it is kind of gross.
He made it opium scented.
Yes.
It's actually just opium in that pipe.
That's the thing, though. If it's not vaping, clearly they must have pulled a thank you for smoking and invented the whatever device, as Aaron Eckhart says.
What? What?
That's a movie.
Yeah. I know what they... yes.
Yeah. So they're trying to, do a product placement of this cigarette in this science fiction film. And Aaron Eckhart is like, but... wouldn't that ignite all the oxygen on the spaceship? And the producer goes, we'll just throw in a line about, thank God we invented the whatever device. Because the oxygen content on a spaceship, in theory, is more pure and therefore far more flammable.
Right, yeah. I knew that.
But, so, Data doesn't have any emotions. But he likes to pretend to be the world's greatest detective.
It's a program he runs, and he's amazing.
Don't get me wrong, I love it. It just doesn't make any sense.
No.
Not at all.
No.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, that's the thing. Data should write a program for himself to be a human because he acts way more human when he's playing
Private
characters.
Eye, sir? Yeah. What is that?
Yeah.
Data, get a fucking dictionary.
That if this were the original series, the music cue for that would have been do 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 do.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Data has one emotion: smug self-satisfaction,
and that's why Sherlock Holmes is perfect.
Exactly.
I also feel like Sherlock Holmes was presented as being a real person. Somewhat, because they kept saying, the greatest detective alive, or that ever lived, or whatever, and I'm just like, but...
The only thing I really object to is the fact that Holmes really, from a literary standpoint, isn't a private eye, quote-unquote. Riker does correctly identify him as a consulting detective. So the springboard from Private Eye to Sherlock Holmes felt a bit disingenuous.
I thought Private Eye was the second episode.
No.
Oh, that's what actually led to the Sherlock Holmes things, was the Private Eye? Oh, I totally fucking forgot that already.
Yeah, it's when Singh gets killed, and they're like, who killed Singh?
Yeah.
We need a Private Eye like Sherlock Holmes.
Because obviously it wasn't any of us, and it wasn't any of the people we brought aboard.
Because they know the difference, because I think in a couple
episodes,
weeks, we're going to have to do the big goodbye, which is about a fucking Private
Eye as we think of it now.
Like Dixon Hill.
Yeah, it's like his holodeck, right? Isn't
yeah.
that what Picard likes to be?
Picard's little jerk-off fest.
Yeah. But it just seems like...
So Justus.
They could have just brought up Sherlock Holmes without starting from Private Eye.
It is kind of a weird leap, yeah.
But they just wanted to get Data in a Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah. It was amusing. I'll admit, any scene where he was trying to be Holmes was one of the only highlights.
Brent Spiner has range, kind of like how, whenever we saw Spock as a non-Spock, or Nimoy as a non-Spock character, you realize, oh, he goes. Look at him go.
Exactly.
You get Spiner going.
And it's really fun to watch Riker being completely amused by it.
He is. He's delighted by it.
That is the one thing, actually, though, that while I loved Data, the fact that, again, everything is actually really quite serious throughout this episode, but Riker, through 90% of it, just big shit-eating grin. I love all of this.
Commander Singh is dead. Go get him, Data.
We hated that guy for some reason.
So why did Singh die? I don't understand.
It was
the creature was I regret that he died, but it doesn't explain what happened that made him die.
He didn't kill anyone else when he possessed them.
Wasn't Singh trying to fix the thing that was broken or something?
I think it might have been explained in a scene that I was rolling my eyes through.
Because Wesley was there and his stupid fucking sweater.
Wesley was not contributing much to this episode, but that's
thank God.
I think that's the problem with I know Justus has different feelings about Wesley as a character, but I think that the biggest problem with Wesley is that he's shoehorned in to plots that he doesn't belong, and that's why people dislike him. I think if you just had...
They couldn't write for him, is what it is.
Yeah,
that is
you have more...
true.
Like when Wesley is more integral to more plots than some of your main characters, and I guess that they considered him a main character, it just doesn't work. Like, he didn't belong in this story. He didn't need to contribute. I mean, you could have had the scene with Crusher acting weird. No, you didn't even need that scene. Because really, here's what you didn't need. You didn't need this fucking episode. That's what you didn't need.
But yeah,
skip the whole thing.
There is an inorganic element to a lot of his involvement, which I think, like I said, that's the problem. If they allowed him to grow organically into the show, people would have been fine with him, probably.
Yeah, but they kind of what's the term I'm trying to
Shoehorned?
find? No, they kind of like spat their load. They shot their load.
load.
They shot their load too early.
Or blew their wad.
They blew their... Yeah, I like that one too. I like
and
all
they
of
also, and again...
Came in their pants.
They came in their pants too early with the whole, let's get Wesley to be an important character. Oh shit, now he's too important.
Coming in your pants is always too early.
Yeah.
But yeah,
True.
he absolutely could have been replaced in almost every instance by Geordi in this episode.
Yeah, and they kind of ended up just kind of being a shit to Geordi most of this episode too.
I just want to interject that it would be weird if Beverly was checking to see how Geordi was doing with his homework.
Although, interestingly, there's like the opening scene, not the opening scene of the episode, but the opening scene where Geordi and Worf are like hanging out in sensor control, which is a set that we never see again.
Yeah, but you could tell that they really thought they were going to use that a lot.
That scene, like, this episode is so boring, they check in with people to see if it's okay to use the sensors.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, how's the sensors doing? Well, your two top guys, although they make it sound like, well, Captain Picard wants us junior officers doing all the different jobs on the ship. Like,
Which, that's
Worf
new.
and Geordi are like two young guys
Yeah.
that don't have any experience when... Before long, one of them will be the chief of security and the other will be the chief engineer.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, assistant chief engineer under
Argyle.
Under
Yes.
Argyle.
obviously.
There was a comment that was hilarious. They asked at one point, "This is a new ship. What are the odds of it breaking so badly?" "Oh, almost impossible, sir." The ships we see break fucking
The
constantly.
Enterprise breaks constantly.
It's cursed.
It's space. There's lots of things that can break your shit in space.
And they're constantly encountering things that they've never encountered before that do completely strange things. Just like, the transporter's not working. Fuck that noise.
Plus, it's like, it's not like, oh, this is, a new ship, but one from a reliable long-term class. It's not like a new Excelsior using, computers we've been familiar with for a decade and this and that. It's everything in the ship theoretically is cutting edge.
But I think that's the thing, though. It's, it hasn't really been down with the shakedowns.
That's what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
there's no reason, in theory, somewhere there's the USS Galaxy NX whatever that they tested a lot of this shit with, but...
Well, the Defiant never had these problems.
Wait, didn't the Defiant have a problem where the ship, if they went to warp, was literally tearing itself apart?
I said the Defiant never had these problems.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's true. And the Excelsior, when it first came out, not so great.
Well, that's because Scott sabotaged it.
That's true. But you also needed that giant stick to jam in the ignition.
Yes, that stupid stick. Oh god,
yeah.
should we segue to the?
We should
No.
never speak of this again.
There's no segue. There's one more thing I need to mention.
Oh, okay.
Why the fuck is the dog catcher ring a glow stick?
Oh
Yeah.
Like needlessly.
It keeps you safe while you're jogging at night?
I guess. Like what? So there's a scene in the episode when the aliens, the
Soleil are supposed to be attacking the Antikins, but they get Riker instead.
They're trying to catch this.
They're trying to lure him into a rabbit
monster.
trap.
Sorry, wrong species.
And they have like one of those loop sticks, like a dog catcher has, or
Yeah, it
the
is
pool,
basically
or
what
the
Because
pool
the Antikins
cleaner.
are dog-like.
Oh.
And they put it around Riker's neck and catch him, and then they apologize. But here's the thing: the loop is not. It's a fucking glow stick.
That's how you know it's futuristic.
But you would expect it to have been like electric and
Yeah, I
to
was
have
waiting
really
for
hurt
that.
him. Like that's what I would have thought based on the glowing.
Yeah,
Well, listen,
no, I agree.
both of these species have been in contact with the Ferengi, and we know what they're like.
Oh yeah, they threw that in there too. Fucking the Ferengi. How long do they lose their boner for the Ferengi?
Not much longer, I don't think.
I think this is getting to the end.
Yeah, but you really think at that point, Riker would have been like, all right, you know what? All you motherfuckers are locked in your goddamn rooms till we get to Parliament. Because this is getting stupid. So, this part's going to be confusing. Because we're going to be saying Justus a lot.
Uh-huh.
Exactly.
Oh!
Yeah.
Yeah, I am here to muck up the works in every aspect of my life.
I don't think we're gonna say the title of the episode more than once.
Probably not, but I just wanted to say
But
that.
what about all the injustice on the planet in the...
His name's not Injustice.
No,
if he was
there's
there,
just
someone would
things
be
there.
injustice.
I'd
though,
like
they
to be
like sex.
Injustice.
That was good. I liked that.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
So everything about this
Nailed
planet
it.
is my own personal nightmare.
Because of all the touching and
The
nudity.
80s hair?
I mean, I was just saying to Caitlin earlier today,
The
Plants.
ride-up crop shorts.
I don't even like going to the barber. Because that is way too much, first of all, contact and small talk. So if you've got a race of people that just, first of all, super friendly, like they
Listen.
clearly want to talk to everybody, and they want to touch, I'm just like, no,
They're not gonna
get me out of
They're
here.
not going to do small talk, though, because their mouth is kind of busy.
Ah, no.
Yeah, they're gonna
No.
do some small talk with your balls.
Can you imagine if Lieutenant Barkley was on the ship at this time?
Oh my god, he never would have left. You know, he'd just been like, no, Captain, leave me here to study them forever, like that one guy from the fucking Return of the Archons.
Oh, that one too.
Or
Or the Nazi planet.
Oh god.
I don't understand how you don't like Curb Your Enthusiasm. You hate touch and small talk. Seems basically like Larry David.
Yeah, but I also hate awkward situations, and that's all he ever finds himself in.
Fine. fair
Yeah,
enough.
he does.
But yeah, no, just looking at this, like, I was literally cringing for so much of it, because, everyone is, this is too much.
Caitlin
too
had
much.
a boner the whole
I was gonna
time.
say, I also had a strong reaction. It was not cringing.
But yeah, it is like Master Race Fuck Planet.
Yeah, almost everyone is blonde.
Well,
It's
when you
creepy.
put it like that,
Let's
I
bring
feel
the boy.
bad about
Everyone.
it.
Is there anybody that's not white on this planet
There's
at all?
No.
There
good
are
point.
no people of color on this planet.
No, I hadn't
So
thought
it's
of that.
definitely a Roddenberry episode.
Yeah. Like,
Oh,
I
it
think there
certainly
was,
was.
there was one person with brown hair. Everyone else was blonde.
There were some silver foxes.
True.
Yeah.
There were some
And of course, there's a lady with the
golden
horrible
dazers.
platinum, I hope, wig.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
oh
did
my
not-
god.
either that
Like
or-
a platinum Jerry curl. It
Yeah.
was so...
It wasn't greasy enough for a Jerry curl, but like
extremely tight curls and...
it was not
so
becoming.
strange.
It
for
did
this
seem
woman,
like it was supposed to be a wig for not a white woman.
potentially.
Yeah.
Well, like Jake said, it made her look like a barrister or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she looked like a
Yeah.
British judge.
Alright, guys, here's how much Roddenberry'd all over this episode. Yeah. I mean, firstly, whoever wrote it used a pen name because they changed the plot so significantly. Originally, there was supposed to be a rebel faction on the planet who wanted to overrule the whole capital punishment thing, and most of the plot was like, should the Enterprise and Starfleet get involved with this thing or stay out of it, a la Prime Directive, which they haven't fucking followed at all this episode at all anyway.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
But Roddenberry and Worley Thorne added the god entity thing and sexed up the people considerably.
Of course.
Yep.
Because of course Roddenberry did. And I didn't see anywhere in the original treatment that Wesley was involved at all.
So basically, there was a completely different episode that they replaced with this
Yeah,
episode.
that they wanted
And
to
they
talk
took a
about
dump
capital
on
punishment.
it, and that's what we
Yeah,
got.
the only similarity is there are 2 episodes involving capital punishment. And like really, Roddenberry felt like, this is a great commentary on capital punishment, which was a big issue in the United States at this time, right? So there you go. Social commentary, the role of sex in our society.
Yeah, but you know what? It's
And-
not sci-fi and it's not sexy enough. What can we do about this?
Well, let's
Have them
put,
run everywhere.
Those
well,
fucking
jogging was very big in
and
the
no
80s.
bras.
those costumes were just abysmal.
Yeah, I don't see how they could sentence Wesley to death and not also put themselves to death for that fashion crime.
Oh, that's a triple snap.
So many snaps.
Somebody call the fashion police.
This at least was one of
Sorry,
his...
fashion mediators.
And this was one of Wesley's less horrible sweaters. It was just a simple brown thing. His trousers I had a problem
he
with.
He was
That's why.
brown in his
Yeah,
trousers,
the
all right.
combo
Right?
of the
Right?
those
He did look
clothes.
like an Ewok, didn't he? That's what I thought, too.
He's just wubbed up.
Wubbed up.
But it was weird too, because like his
Yup, yup.
pants, like I thought he had a
Sorry,
big
Owen.
stripe down one side, But it just turns out part of his pants are red for no reason, because the other side doesn't have that red portion.
That's true. The future pants.
Who dressed him?
Never mind.
His
Also put
mother.
him to death for his fashion crimes.
Like I feel like that's maybe another way people might not have hated Wesley so much as if they dressed him better.
I wonder
I
what
don't
that would be
think.
like.
I don't know.
I don't know, man. He dresses pretty bad.
If you were just like a little preppy kid, though, you'd still want to punch him.
Yeah.
Just put
Just
him
give
put him
a
in
denim
fucking
jacket
clothes.
and like club colors.
roll some cigarettes up in his.
Oh god, now I'm just picturing him in
Sleeves.
like Ace's costume from Doctor Who.
I don't know what that
Means
is.
nothing to me.
It's like a leather jacket and a mini skirt.
No, it's a denim jacket with a shitload of pins. Or is it leather? Fuck, now I can't
That was
remember.
leather.
He should have just been like a gutter punk.
That would have been interesting.
Fun
Oh,
fact.
and his favorite song could have been the one from the bus in Star Trek 4.
That's true.
Could have been his classical music.
Yeah, you listen to classical music? I hate you.
No, I have lots and lots of issues with this
Yeah,
episode.
so-
90% of them are Prime Directive related.
Right? Because they seem to have already fucked it.
They were in the system.
Literally.
They were hanging out in the system, and they say, "Oh look, here's another planet, and look, it's populated. Let's go say hi." What the fuck are you doing? You don't say hi to pre-warp cultures, you fucking idiots.
Yeah,
But
they're
I
like,
heard they'd like to bang.
Therefore, it's okay.
Yeah, how could
should
how could
ignore
anyone
Prime
resist?
Directive.
You heard Picard say that they want to spread their seed throughout the galaxy, right?
like this is very much
That was Sargon.
this is very much TOS Prime Directive, where you can't give, pre-warp cultures technology or help them in their stuff, but you can say, hi, we exist.
You can lay pipe. You just can't lay pipe.
Like, it would only be a little after this, I imagine. At some point after this, they realize, wait, it doesn't make sense to have a non-interference clause, but still go introduce... Like,
Not just
fucking-
introduce, but fuck their women.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
in, like, the original series, they
That's how
set
they
up...
say hello.
That is how
It's
they
a
say
Vulcan
it.
hello.
Actually, they fuck their
I
men
know.
too. I mean,
Yeah, everyone's fucking.
Yeah,
But,
there,
like,
there was
down
two
there.
ways.
in TOS, they set up that whole elaborate, dilithium trade with nomads on that one world, Friday's Child.
Nomad.
No, the Friday's
Oh,
Child.
I hope it was Nomad.
Which doesn't... So, yeah, right off the bat, they've already, in theory, split the Prime Directive wide open. And that annoyed me to no end.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
glad-
got split wide open.
Everybody.
No!
Literally everybody.
Tasha Yar was so into it this
Oh
episode.
my
though.
god, Tasha's gotta get it.
She already got it, clearly.
No, but like, she very much is like, I have to now. And it is, given her history, it's creepy.
Yeah.
You mean the rape gangs?
I mean, the rape
Oh, I was
gangs.
thinking,
we were-
after Data.
Justus
After
and I
Data,
were-
she cannot be sated.
Well, that's also true. But like we were talking about this a little bit. Like, it just seems squicky
yeah.
to be like
Good word for
this
it.
woman was the victim of horrible sexual abuse, and then be like, and she can't get enough of the dick. It just feels like
God.
no, but like that's every time. Like that just feels like that's like her new default.
It's true.
Yeah.
And she's
It's
really
unfortunate.
excited that what's his name on the racist planet was into her, and she
Yeah.
fucks Data, and now this guy. Like,
Well, she was drunk when she fucked it.
She fucked a lot of people naked now.
Yeah, that's
and-
true.
before she got to Data.
it's true.
and
She fucked
had
her way
her
through
film.
half the ship.
Yeah, no,
But-
yeah.
Yeah, Tasha.
They
Get your
mishandled her
shit
character
together.
It's
so
just
badly.
yeah, it just feels really weird.
Yeah, it's something that they never would have explored back then, of course. But like knowing the things we know now, it's difficult to look at it and be like, is there a cry for help in there?
Well, here's the thing. No, it goes. For me, it goes to the immaturity that they showed in just in having the rape gang as a
Yeah.
plot point. Because like, you could have just had a woman on the ship who like getting dick sometimes, and that would have been fine. But
Empowerment.
no, yeah, whatever. Who
Hashtag
cares?
feminism.
But you have to you throw in this rape gang thing, and it's weird, and
Well,
it wasn't necessary. It
They
didn't-
could have just been gangs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she could have been defending herself, from physical attack for much of her childhood.
Yeah, that's
They were
fine.
Bad man.
Like, the fact that they had to go out of their way to make them
rape gangs.
Yeah. But that being said, Tasha, if you like what you like, that's great.
That's fine.
And
We're
we're
not-
very
we're not
happy
judging.
for you.
We're not
And
judging.
You go
We're
get
judging the
yours.
writers.
We're judging the writers.
Yeah.
Because you're right. They didn't have to be specifically
No.
rape gangs.
No, there is nothing wrong with the idea of a female character who is unashamed of her sexuality. It's just coupled with her history, it makes for some uncomfortable...
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know who else
Yuck.
likes what he likes? Worf?
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
That's right.
He was ready to split open some women.
We had the weirdest conversation with Worf. Like, Riker, since when are we so unprofessional that we just talk about, so Worf, you like getting some pussy going on, right?
They're on
I
shore
never used that word, I'm
leave.
sorry.
Yeah, it sounded like you don't
really
say it
weird.
a lot.
I don't like that word.
Reminded me-
Like, it surprised me. I've known you a long time. That's not your... That is
I
not
don't use
you.
that word.
I didn't even heard you use that like unironically to address a cat.
I wouldn't, no. They're gyms, they're not... Ugh.
You know, that whole conversation reminded me of in the Orville pilot when when Seth MacFarlane's character meets the Worf and he's like, oh, so I hear you don't have any broads on your planet, and Worf's like, no, we pee in the toilet, and I don't fucking remember. It was a dumb joke.
Yes.
Fuck that show.
This is a really good story, Jake.
But it just reminded me of that. It was like, look at this quick culture bullshit that they don't understand each other.
I liked it, though. I liked that he was like, yeah, human females are too fragile.
Like I
it's
said.
amazing. It's just like a very
what is-
Luke Cage moment.
It's also something that eventually gets retconned out of there, though, because, him and Troy eventually bump uglies.
Well, but she's not human.
That's true.
So maybe
And
she's
Jadzia
made
could
of
take it.
sterner
Jadzia
stuff.
could definitely take
Well,
it.
I
what
feel
about
like
his,
take him.
Well, his first Parmakai there, what's her name?
Oh.
Parmakai sounds like a delicious sandwich.
I don't know if they were technically Parmakai. I think they were just mates. His first wife, not really though. They never got married. The mother of his child, who's half human. She's
Really?
half Klingon, but half human.
Well,
And she rejects their ways. But she was a delicate flower. I mean, she got killed by Duras, and that guy's
Spoilers.
dead.
I don't know what that is, but you're really ruining the series for me. So
Am
thank
I?
you. Yeah.
We're
But
gonna do
yeah.
a lot of that.
Like I said,
Everything's a spoiler here.
when
Did
that's
we mention who dies?
Someone actually mentioned to me.
Okay,
that
we'll get to it.
someone
We'll get to
dies.
it one day.
Yep.
But yeah, they
I have no idea who she's talking about.
Tasha Yar.
Does she?
Oh yeah, famously.
Yeah, but I didn't
Yeah.
know that, and someone brought it up today at breakfast, and I was like, "Oh, did she die?" And she was like, "Oh," and I was like, "No, like it's fine." She's like, "It's a wicked old series." I'm like, "No, you really don't have to defend
you don't
yourself
need
to me.
spoiler
Like,
alerts on
it's a
20
30-year-old series."
30
Well,
year-old
if they
series.
hadn't, I would have spoiled it for you like an hour or so ago when I was like, and I never get to explain.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, well, that's why I didn't get upset because I already knew.
But yeah, at the end of that scene with Riker and Worf, like, Riker just made this face, which I interpreted as Riker is now going to go back to the Enterprise and try to find some Klingon porn. Because he seemed really excited.
Is there
Riker
still
would be.
porn? There probably is.
There had better be fucking porn.
There's
No,
no
holodeck
holodeck.
is
Well, I was gonna say,
That's
but that's
still
that
porn.
holodeck has to like clean
Yeah,
itself.
there's just like a
Still
bleach
sterilized.
cannon.
It's like
it's like an oven, and it's got this-
Dishwasher mode.
what's that movie called? Gattaca? It just lights itself on fire whenever
Yeah,
someone
there you
leaves,
go.
like that guy's bathroom.
But that's what I mean, though. Like, I
That's
bet
what my
like
bathroom
porn,
does.
the way we know porn, doesn't exist anymore. Like
It's like
his
so
looking up.
called porn.
No, it's called going to the holodeck.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm
Like-
sure you don't like go on Pornhub and beat one
But
out.
what about YouPorn or Pornhub?
No.
Porn? What is it? What's the YouTube one called? RedTube?
RedTube, yeah.
Is that what it's
That's
called?
Yeah.
YouTube Red. That's like the premium.
No, there's also a red tube.
That's
Oh,
a porn.
God.
That's a porn channel, right?
Yeah, that is.
Okay, thank you.
YouTube Red is for porn.
no, Red.
Why are they always trying to sell it to me?
Damn your obsequiousness.
Fuck that, that's the title of the episode.
But now this whole culture is obsessed with the past often. Are there people that go into the holodeck to like flip through porn magazines?
Oh, good
Maybe.
question.
Be like,
I bet Picard does. I feel like,
he's a
feel
real
like Picard's,
classical.
He's got some like lot of lead pipe like in it, like hidden in his like private eye office
jugs.
or something.
I do picture him like he has a whole. Now that you say that, he has a whole like program which is just like a well-appointed mid 20th century lounge where he's got like 60s Playboys where he actually
Nice.
does read the articles and then he jerks off to the pictures.
Well, of course, Picard must have a very awkward sexuality, we know, because he's like, oh, it's a fuck planet. Take the boy with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little weird.
Okay, so Justus, talk to us about Wesley.
Oh yeah.
So, Wesley
Speaking of the boy.
Wesley as a character, and this is the perfect episode to have him in, because having it be a child who's under the balance of...
Yeah. Gave Beverly something to do for a change.
yeah, that's true.
Cry.
But Wesley, like, they make a whole point that this isn't just like a ship of soldiers. It's a ship of like people.
There's families.
There's families. There's a whole sorts of thing. Even though we see a very select portion of it, in order to get that sort of feeling, Wesley is perfect for that. That you actually have your family. You have your military brat who, it's true, he's way too smart for his own good. And they do go to his well when they should be going to others far too much. But there's nothing wrong with Will Wheaton as like an actor. No. He's doing fine. And I don't know, I feel like there should be a youth aboard this ship. It speaks to me. Also, I'm a child at heart, so I connect very well to Wesley.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with the existence of the Wesley character.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
I do. And I definitely don't have a problem with Will Wheaton.
His implementation was just so badly.
That's not his fault.
Plenty of mistakes with him. But at the same time, because they make plenty of mistakes with him, we get wonderful episodes like The Game.
That's true.
They use him to majestic terribleness at some times that I just really, really enjoy.
Majestic terribleness. I like that.
That's a great band name.
But to that point of episodes where you should or should not use Wesley, I almost feel like this was a poor Wesley choice.
But see, actually going off what Justus said, if it was a Starfleet officer who was in the midst of all this, then the discussion is somewhat different.
Exactly.
It's like, well, you didn't know, but then again, you kind of signed up for some dangerous shit and you knew he's a kid.
Yeah,
so that makes
that's exactly why, because in this episode, there's absolutely no question what the outcome's going to be. There's no tension. There's no, it's not a decision. You know, without any doubt, that Picard is going to step in and take him out.
Picard totally hates him.
That's the thing. It's Beverly Crusher's kid, Chief Medical. They're not killing off your main character kid in this way.
I don't know. That could have made her a more interesting character.
Yeah, I like Beverly in this episode more than most.
No,
but
Beverly's useless in any episode.
Wow.
I agree that giving Beverly a personal stake in it, she gets feisty. She really says this is my child. we're not gonna deal with this in any way that.
Don't mess with this, Mama Bear.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I was half expecting her to offer up her resignation in that scene where she stormed into his office, because then she wouldn't have been beholden to anything.
She could have been like, if you side with them, it doesn't matter. I will no longer. I will get him out of there myself. Come hell or high water.
Yeah. I'll steal a shuttle and we'll get the fuck out of here.
I know that those people only jog. They can't outrun me.
Yeah, but I don't know. I still just feel like it's okay. So here's imagine the episode if this were the plot instead of Wesley stepping on the flowers. It were Will Riker
plowed the wrong chick,
fisted a girl, and
fisting is illegal.
Fisting is illegal.
Definitely.
Obviously,
no more than 4 fingers.
Yeah, that's the limit. Full limit. So he's fisting, the lawyer lady, the one with the Jerry curls. Yeah.
Rivan.
Yeah. And the mediator walks in and spots it.
Can we come up with a better reason that Riker is being killed?
I mean, they could have very easily just had, and I feel like they've done this before, but whatever. Just have this one area, look, it's a sacred temple. Only the priests are allowed in.
And then William Riker pisses on it.
But yeah, somehow someone
can we involve fisting in some way?
On this planet, yes.
Good.
But if it was on CBS All Access, maybe.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. I feel like there could have been just a forbidden zone, which someone walks into, but it doesn't have to be this randomized stepped on the grass.
I thought that
shit.
was kind of interesting as a thing.
I'll say the randomization is kind of useless. It should be, if you commit a crime, no matter how small, because the point is to deter people from crime anywhere, anyway.
Yeah, but that's because they only want to have 2 cops, because nobody wants that job.
Nobody wants to be the cops here, clearly. It's always said, this time doubly so.
Yes.
Yeah, they have to carry around that syringe right next to their penis on fucking Sex Planet?
Which
That's a bad idea.
It has a holster, but does not appear to have a cap.
They didn't seem that sad about it. They've seen shit, that's why.
But also, the fact that it's, he lands on some flowers. It's a very small infraction. That I think is an important thing.
Rebuilding that greenhouse is going to be costly, Justus.
It's not sacred. It's not he didn't knock somebody into the water and like break something priceless.
But that's the point, right? Is that it's any trivial infraction.
Exactly, but that's my point. Is that like all of those things. The fact that it is so small and it is a child that you're dealing with, it does make that weight much heavier. Sure, you're not. It's Star Trek, so you're not going to kill the kid, probably. But let's say if it was not Wesley, but like Wesley and a friend comes down, and Wesley throws the ball to the friend.
If it was the friend, I might buy it.
Yeah.
A little more, but then I would have less interest in the outcome because fuck that kid.
And also, Wesley doesn't have any friends.
Also, to be fair, Wesley is such a shit when he crashes through that thing. He's like,
I'm alright.
Hey guys, what's the matter? I'm okay.
And
Nothing matters but number one.
Well, so can we talk though? Yeah, because yes, that's annoying, but also, come on. If the penalty for stepping on the flowers is death, put a taller fence up.
Yeah.
Much taller.
Yeah. Stay away from the fences. Our fences look like berries.
Like you
keeps the mini ponies out of there.
You know who get along with these people really well? The Vulcans. They love not giving people all the information they need.
I know. I actually want to give Tasha Yar a lot of fucking shit for this because she went down there, she scoped it out, she comes back and she says, "Oh, they have a lot of common sense laws, nothing out of the ordinary. I think we should go down for shore leave." And somehow she didn't ask about any of this other shit.
No, she says she did her research and they didn't mention anything
about punishment. They didn't say anything about punishment.
They mentioned the laws, like you can't step on the grass. She figured you just get like a ticket.
Well, she didn't ask though.
Well, yeah, you're right. She shouldn't have assumed.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
Because it
I
still
take it
makes
back.
an ass out of you and Tasha Yar.
Although, being fair, you've sent your chief of security. You should have sent someone who's more diplomatically inclined. Maybe they would have made sure to cover all the bases.
But, she's not the only one who goes down there.
True.
Well, Riker was busy banging.
Yeah, Riker's balls deep. He's like...
he got down... he got down there and within seconds... they actually... When they beamed him up, it was just him in his socks and his comm badge because he just ripped himself out of the jumpsuit. He's like, I'll replicate a new one.
I'm never wearing clothes again. Woo!
Like he actually just
I think we may have peaked.
his scream of joy was so loud it broke the laws of physics, cut through the vacuum of space, and they heard it on the ship.
Yeah.
But yeah, they should just go to Risa.
Yeah. So God.
Right, we haven't even
what does
talked
God
about
need with
God.
a starship?
What does God need with these people?
Why is God a starship?
Why is God there to begin with? So this God creature, is getting all judgy on the Enterprise, being like, leave my people alone, leave my children alone.
Well, this is pretty...
This, that, and the other thing.
This is very standard Star Trek fare.
I'm gonna judge you guys if you break your prime directive, but it's okay if I do it. Because these people, even though I'm some kind of alien entity, they think I'm God, and I'm going to run with it.
Well, yeah, but he's not part of the Federation. He doesn't have to abide by Federation.
But he wants to. But here's the thing, interestingly, that I think would have improved this episode if they spent more time on the actual quandary, which Wesley actually states. He's like, Picard isn't not rescuing Wesley because of the Prime Directive. The reason he's not rescuing Wesley is he's afraid that the monster in the ship outside is going to kill, that God's going to blow up the Enterprise.
Yeah.
That's the real reason.
It's either let Wesley die or God creature kills everyone.
So I think they should have spent more time establishing that and built some tension around that idea that the God entity, because they're only speculating based on what Data says that the God entity is going to judge humans by their own laws.
Can I tell you what I thought was going to happen at the end? Since Wesley's like, wait, you're saying that if, I don't die, everyone else is gonna die? I kind of half expected him to, leap away when they tried to beam up, and that, the God would have been like, ah, yes, this young man is very courageous and brave and honorable and sacrificing himself for his people, and then they would have been allowed to go because, they would have been like, oh, yes, look at this good boy.
Yeah, but then that's just Wesley saving the day again.
I know, but it's what I expected.
You know what, though? That's better than a lot of the more sort of ham-fisted ones where it's like Wesley saves the day because somehow he understands the ship better than the professionals.
Yeah.
It would be Wesley kind of in a way, being, that's a very noble sort of Starfleet thing to do, and that I'm Wesley, you've learned an important lesson, thing. That would have been a way Wesley could have saved the day that wouldn't have felt quite so oh.
Ham-fisted.
True.
And then it was just so abrupt. Where it's just like, oh, we can't beam up. We're going to yell at God. And God's like, fucking whatever.
There can be no justice as long as laws are absolute.
Right. Gray areas.
And also,
Nice.
like, the one scene that was actually...
Shades of gray.
Oh, no.
How many? 49?
Well,
49
on this
or so?
planet, 2.
But one thing I thought was actually handled pretty well.
The old people?
True.
What's going on?
I don't know.
One thing that was handled really well in this one, I thought, was the scene where they're sort of having the discussion with, can't remember his name, but the sort of main guy we kept seeing.
Leotor.
Oh my god.
They really have terrible names,
They
and
do.
they don't mention them very often.
Leotor. That's
So-
like Leonard and Theodore and...
And leotard.
Yeah, so Leotard and Nda are sitting there talking to them, and I like how he sort of, does get a bit upset. It's like, oh yes, we're just so primitive. And it's like, I liked that. I liked the fact that he was like, you're being kind of a dick right now.
Did you think he was getting uppity about it? Because he wasn't a good enough actor to show that. I thought he was just being like, yes, we are very primitive. We should listen to you.
No, 'cause it
I
really
wasn't
seemed to
reading
be-
from him anger. I was reading
Oh,
from
see,
him like...
No, I agree with Chris.
I
I think he
definitely
was
felt a
getting.
little-
I think he was getting like passive aggressive about
Yeah,
it.
he was like,
But
yeah,
he
just
was
take
saying-
him and go.
But he was saying, he was telling truths, right?
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
like, yeah, you guys
I'm not a
obviously could
developed
kick our ass.
country.
There's nothing keeping you here. Just go, you fucks.
Yeah, fuck up our culture by just walking away.
But like they were a little melodramatic on that planet. If you rescue the boy, you're destroying everything we've built here. No.
Just put a couple extra death places out next
Yeah.
time.
You know what? If you kill somebody else.
I
fuck
do
it.
wish, there was a follow episode a couple of years later, and they go back, and this society has just imploded.
It's like Rapture in space.
Oh, Star Trek.
I mean, and here's the
Bioshock.
thing, because so what is the argument that if they were lenient and didn't kill Wesley, that would encourage other people to
There's
step on?
precedent for saving lives.
But here's the
Yeah.
thing: if Picard just rescued Wesley, which he did
Yeah.
in the end, then it doesn't say anything about. Well, they were gonna kill him. Like they didn't. They never relented on the killing part.
And
Yeah,
now,
and they obviously don't have teleporters. So.
Yeah.
And now it's like, is everyone that's sentenced to death going to just yell at the sky and be like, what about me? And now suddenly these guys who just wanted to be observers are like, oh, fuck, now we have to mediate every little fucking... no, that one's actually a dick. No, kill that one.
Some kind of
Kill that
strange
one.
Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Strange Santa Claus.
Actually, I guess, having said earlier, Star Trek Bioshock is just system shock. But there we go.
Yeah.
Stranger Claus.
But yeah, I guess that's Picard's final point of the if Justus needs gray areas, which I will eventually. But
Yay!
but I guess the alien agreement is like, okay, I guess we won't kill people for accidentally crushing flowers at some point. I think maybe they have to start focusing on crime with intent or things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think they will.
Yeah, it's weird. It just
Death by snoo snoo.
it just ends so quickly. It's not a satisfying resolution.
No.
Yeah, that's if these episodes have one major thing in common, it's that they end on a stupid note.
Yeah.
Right? Like murder.
The climax is unsatisfying.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Rikers
Too
was
bad
fine.
for a fuck planet.
Yeah.
I did notice that the ball they were playing with was blue.
It's fucking
It's true. I nailed it. It's true.
It looked like one of those.
Wesley, you're so good at playing with ball.
Also, God's ball was also blue.
Yeah.
It's true.
Two
Wesley-
blue balls. What does it mean?
And
Wesley was so fucking insecure about the whole sexual thing that whole time.
Which is fair, because if I was 14, I'd have been freaked right the fuck out.
Well,
why am I
he
here?
obviously thought
I've
the
been
girl
like,
was.
it's time, let's go.
Hey Wesley, like you want to play? And he's like, I don't know if I know that game yet.
I
And then
want
she's
to
like,
play
you
ball.
don't know how to play with a ball? You fucking. Jesus.
So, I thought you guys were more advanced than us. This is kind of weird. Also, I really wish that there was somebody on that planet that, like, instead of jogging, just, like, booked it everywhere they were going. Just needed to be... I gotta get there, yeah!
Well, like, what happens when they actually are in a hurry? Like, do they run extra fast?
They're never in a hurry, Jake.
What if they die?
Yeah, what do they do? What else do they do other than make out in the middle of the street?
They come, they go,
They
they come
garden.
again.
They garden.
They clearly garden and kill people.
Yeah, someone They must have fountain
It's
maintenance
a tough
people.
job, but somebody's got to do it.
So are the
Gotta cut hose off the sidewalks.
Are the plants like? Is that like a fertility thing? Like, is that like a metaphor?
Flowers.
You are giving this episode way too much
spreading
credit.
seeds around the planet.
Or-
Is this like
I buy it.
I wonder actually if like all
For how
of that
much?
maintenance is done by the god creature.
Oh, maybe.
I mean,
I don't think the god creature does much of anything.
I think he's just a
kind of like
Most
all
god
god
creatures.
creatures? Thoughts and prayers for these plants.
But they clearly have heard that god speak in the past.
Yeah.
And like she recognized it when she saw it on the spaceship.
Was that in, like-
oh, that's God, I'm fucked.
Was it like old documentations, like their old testament or some shit?
Yeah, I was gonna say, allegedly, our God used to do a lot of talking as well. I mean, our God, by which I mean the Christian God.
Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. May kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven.
Also, the part where they use Data as a cup holder for their blue ball, and he just topples backwards. It looks like it collapses a part of his head and rests in it.
Wouldn't that just make him a cup? Isn't it the cup that holds the balls?
Oh, no. Oh, can we talk about Brent Spiner's pink eye?
That is so bad.
Want to?
Oh, poor Brent.
Yeah.
Yikes!
He has
there
some
might have
irritation
been
there.
something wrong with the makeup in general in the episode, because earlier, in one of his first scenes, Worf's makeup on his left eye was also fucked up.
Yeah, that's what.
They got a new-
Oh no, that was in the previous. That was in Lonely Among Us when he collapses from the shock, and he does that horrible like claw, and then they
face.
zoom right in on his face, and you can see like parts of it are coming off.
Oh, I don't mean that. I mean, in this one, in Justus, there's actually like the color under his left eye when he's talking to Riker about Klingon sex is like yellow.
Huh.
Yeah, it was very strange, but I didn't think to mention it because whatever. But then Data's left eye was fucked up too.
I think they got a new makeup person that wasn't good with a pencil and just kept jabbing them
Yes.
with an eyeball.
They got a new makeup person who was literally stabbing them with mascara wands.
They can only do
You're
one
gonna look
side.
so pretty!
Only do one side well, the other side they're just like.
That's not how you do it?
I was actually looking at Data, and I'm wondering.
As usual.
Yeah, always. I was wondering. It seems like either he's not wearing any mascara, and they've done that so that his eyelashes sort of like disappear into his face, and like you can't really see his eyelashes usually, but I noticed his eyelashes a lot this time, and I'm wondering if it's because they like started putting something different on them.
Oh, I
And
don't know.
that's why something irritated his eye, maybe?
No, well maybe.
Mm.
That's actually just a thing I was wondering, because like if they're painting them, they're not doing it like the normal like black or brown that you would do to make it more prominent. I don't know.
Well, it was very prominent that he had a bloodshot eye.
Dude, I felt so bad. It might have been the contact lenses. Maybe it was
Yeah.
new makeup. Because I was thinking he looked a slightly different color the last couple episodes.
They must have been really in a hurry
he
to
was
not
greener or
reshoot that
something.
scene.
Yeah, well, and that's like, it's like, I know obviously he can't help his situation and the production can't, but it does slightly take you out of it because you're just like, how does this android have pink
And I
eye?
wonder, because we saw it in HD, I wonder how obvious it would have been on TV.
They remastered him, right? Why didn't they fix that?
They didn't like
Yeah, they didn't.
CG them.
Yeah,
Why
they didn't-
not?
Yeah, 'cause
Like
that,
a fake eye.
Yeah.
Because it was.
But it looks like Mad Eye Moody's eye.
I was gonna
Oh,
say
yeah, normal.
that.
Oh, sorry.
Mad Eye Data.
just like a cartoon eye,
Spinning all over the place.
Judge Doom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Roger
And I
Rabbit.
And I talked just like this.
But yeah, that was kind of.
I felt like Niles from Frasier. Frasier.
But yeah, it was
I can't think of anything that Niles said.
Oh baby, I hear the blue
Oh, yeah,
dot salad and scrambled egg.
I don't know how we got back here. I'm so sorry.
How do we always end up singing the Frasier song?
You end up
All I
singing.
can think of is Family Guy when it's like, Frasier, you're so corpulent that when you sit around the well-appointed Tuscan villa, you sit around the well-appointed Tuscan villa. I can't think of a real Niles line, just the one from Family Guy.
I want to fuck Daphne. Oh no, wait, that's just the subtext of most of his lines.
Oh baby, I hear the blues.
I can do this one. It's me, Sideshow Cecil.
Oh, yay.
Anywho, Amy, you're looking at your card. Did you have something else?
I'm
you wanted to
looking
bring
at
up?
my card. What else did I write down?
Mostly
There was a
avoid looking
long...
at us.
Yeah, that Data Picard scene not only was painful because his eye was weird, but just it was long
It kept
and
going.
dragging.
It's
And
just-
Let's have more
Talking.
talk.
let's exposition
Let's have
this scene.
so much more talk, Data.
This episode ran short. Let's have a talk.
I didn't bother me as much, but the scene in sickbay where with the rambling man,
Babbling.
or the babbling.
You're right.
man.
I do battle. I liked that scene.
I just felt like it was a little thick. It was a little out of place in the episode, and I guess maybe they were doing it just to piss off Crusher so she could storm out.
In a minor huff.
Yeah.
I thought it worked.
I guess she is pissed off her child has a death sentence. Weird. Women, am I right?
If I'm ever going to get a chance with her, I guess I have to save the boy.
Oh yeah,
Wesley,
Picard,
the boy Crusher.
like later that night, it's like Crusher shows up at Picard's radio room, and she's like, "Well, I guess shore leave's canceled," and he's like, "Well, I did save your son," and she's like, "Well, this is the ready room after all. Are you ready?"
Yeah, and they spend a lot of this first season kind of being like, "This is gonna kind of happen, right?"
And then they established that he murdered her husband.
It always gets me wet.
Yeah.
Should rephrase that. Ordered him to his death.
So as we're winding down, Justus, any final thoughts on your namesake?
The first time I saw this episode was around 2011, and I was so taken with it because it's just so wonderfully bad. It's amazing. Of the pantheon of bad good episodes, this is perhaps my favorite.
This is the bad goodest.
Yeah, this is the bad goodest.
The okayest.
This is the world's okayest episode.
Yeah, it's honestly, compared to some of the stuff we've seen, not just from this but other series, it's not too horrendous. It's better than the racist episode by far.
Oh God, yes.
It's better.
See, I didn't mind the racist episode.
Better than Lonely Among Us.
Better than Lonely Among Us. Better
by far.
than what were some famously
Naked Now.
bad TOS episodes?
TOS.
Bem.
Well,
No, that's
TAS.
TAS.
Better than Bem.
Better than Frank Gorshin there.
Oh yeah, better than that one. So
Frank,
I mean,
what's his name? Frank?
Frank.
Am I right? Okay.
I think it's Frank, yeah.
What was that one called?
Black and White.
let that be your last battlefield.
Yeah, that's it. That one was terrible.
Assignment Earth.
But yeah, like, there are some interesting things in this episode, whether or not it's and it is absolutely memorable.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It is not something you can easily scrub from your mind.
Nope.
Those costumes are just so bad. We didn't even talk about how much riding up and like visible dong there is in this episode.
There was a goodly amount of visible dong.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy who was getting that massage, he had his little booty hanging out.
Yeah,
I was
that's
into
right.
it.
Definitely
There's
a
more than a little
couple people hanging Decker in this one.
Yikes.
Yeah. I will say though, at first, because I think you noticed it. At first, it looked like the suits were color coded. That like the men were in blue and the women were in pink. But actually, just all the suits were only blue or pink. But men and women wore both colors. So
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
good. That's
But our
good.
first pair were
Unisex.
blue
Yeah,
boy,
so I
pink
thought-
girl, so I was like, the fuck.
Yeah.
Well, also think of how much they saved on fabric budget this episode.
There wasn't that much fabric per person though.
Yeah.
That's what he means.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like they hardly had to spend any money to costume
They
like
just-
all those people.
They just sewed a couple napkins together. They were like, here you go.
Just scraps from other costumes. They just kind of kit bashed.
Yeah. Also, it was so, like, I hadn't seen this episode in, 6 or 7 years, and I had totally forgotten the God plot had existed, because those people stand out so very much.
You think Roddenberry was disappointed
They
when he
sure
found
did.
out the like little X strap shirts were for the men?
Well, you see,
Oh,
and that's,
no.
Yeah,
nobody
but the
thinks of this
women's-
episode. Nobody thinks of the episode as the episode where Picard has an argument with God about the meaning of justice.
Yeah, no.
You think about this episode as the one where Wesley steps on the grass and gets the death penalty.
And Riker gets plowed.
And
Everybody gets
just
plowed.
gotta get it. Oh, gotta get it on this planet.
Everybody was kung fu fisting.
Damn it.
Yes!
It's not a Star to steer her by without a couple of fisting jokes.
We've already had them.
Inappropriate, out of time, vaguely racist fisting jokes.
No, I think we've managed to avoid racism this week.
Well, I did do it to the
Kung Fu fighting.
everybody was kung fu fighting,
Sure, but
which
The racism there doesn't belong to you.
that's true. It's not
You were just appropriating their
mine. Yeah, that's a good
racism.
point. But we did mention how this whole planet is white. So
Yeah, it is so
that's
Nazi.
a little weird. Yeah,
I mean, Aryan.
What if we find out that this is actually the future of the Nazi planet? That's the twist. That after Nazi
Ooh,
planet,
twist.
after they stop being Nazis, this is what they become.
They find God, or God finds them. And
Yep.
And there we go. It all comes together.
I knew it.
I don't know. Actually, I think actually these are the Apple people grown up because the Apple people didn't fuck, and then they had to learn
They learned
fucking
about
when
fucking.
they left.
they're like, this is pretty
And they're
great.
like, let's just found our society on this.
They have similar idiot costumes. Oh my god, I think it might be.
I
But
think it
these
works.
guys didn't
Yeah, but they
have-
fall for another false god.
Oh my
They
god,
do.
no, that
Because
thing!
they would.
That's why it was back. It was coming to pick up its computer.
Wait.
I dropped
Is
this
it a
thing off at
false
the
god?
shop like 300 years ago.
Actually, I guess it is kind of a false god because they say, like, even
Yeah,
they
it's just a
acknowledge.
super elevated civilization.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
They
Oh.
left the computer there and they were coming
And
back
I know
to
what
get
it is. And the reason for the little fences and the places you can't walk is not so you don't step on the grass. It's so you don't step on the exploding rocks or jizz flowers that shoot you in the chest.
That's yes.
I
Now,
love this.
where could I get one of those jizz flowers?
From the feeders of all planet.
Anyway,
Jake, take us out.
Oh, yes.
That's
all
your
right.
job now.
Well, so this, of course, has been a star to shear her by.
To what? Shear her by?
We have sheep.
Yes, a star to steer her by. That's correct. That's the name of the show. Next week, we will be talking about 2 more episodes of The Next Generation. The return of the Ferengi in The Battle, and the return of Q in Hyde and Q.
I love
Stupid.
stupid title.
Stupid title.
John Delancey.
I love
But yes, John
Delancey.
Delancey. So we're looking forward to those. I'm sure they'll be great. Fun episodes. Some fun things going on. We'll enjoy that. Of course, as I said, this is the star to steer her by. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com. That's FACE book.com / I don't know if it's / whatever. Just search for a star to steer her by on facebook.com.
HTTP://
Yeah,
Forward slash.
and that's the
Gotta
2
specify.
dots, not the dot in the comma.
That's a semicolon.
Exactly,
No,
which is
semicolon.
weird because it's more ink than a. Okay.
Yeah, I agree. It's
Yeah,
weird.
it is
A
weird.
mostly colon.
Speaking of which, we
Lower
gotta end this soon.
intestine.
Anyway,
Facebook.
Facebook. Star to steer her by on Facebook. Find us on Twitter and Tumblr as SSHB Podcast. That's one word. I put a weird space in there. We're also on iTunes. That is the Internet Tunes, I think. iTunes, which is an Apple product. So if you're an Apple iTunes user, search for A Star to Steer Her By. And if you find us on there, download us, subscribe, like us. I don't know if it's like there. No, it's star. Give us star.
ratings, yeah.
Can I mention something about the stars for a minute?
You have before. But go
Well,
on.
no, because I have talked about the stars, and I do want a fair rating and a fair review, an honest rating review. But here's the thing. People inflate their reviews. It's because I find that, like, on Amazon, when I'm looking at a product, if it's not 4 or 5 stars, it's shit, right? But, like, really, in reality, 3 should be average.
Yeah, it should.
And, like,
People have trouble with these rating things
They do.
because a 3 feels like a 60, which is a failing grade.
It's true.
But in reality, it's like 3 is perfectly average. 5 is like fucking amazing.
yeah, 5
and
is
1
the
is
best
complete
podcast
trash.
I've ever listened to. So if you see any 5-star reviews on our iTunes, know that those people think we're the best podcast on the planet. And if you don't think we're that, give us a fair review. Give us what you feel in your heart we deserve. Search your feelings. You know them to be true. You know them to be true. Yes. Am I shedding? Shit. Anyway. Of course, I think that's all I have to say today. This is A Star to Steer Her By. Have I missed something? Why are you
No.
laughing? Did I say the name of the podcast wrong again?
No, it's just because your outros are wonderful.
Oh, okay.
That's why they're giggling.
Oh,
right.
also, like and subscribe to MrMobile
Oh, yes.
on YouTube and Facebook.
That's right.
Yeah.
YouTube, that's again Facebook.
Oh, no.
Is that Jeff Zuckerberg? Jeff
Mark.
Jeff
Zuckerberg.
Zuckerberg.
Mark Jefferberg.
Face BOOK.com.
Are we on MySpace?
No.
We're not on MySpace.
We should be.
You cannot find us on MySpace.
Like my band, The Precious Pieces of Pizza on MySpace.
The Precious Piece of Pizza. MySpace.
Should I plug my high school band as well?
You know, my first band was called Sweet Relish.
Mine was Suicidal Cream Cheese.
Were you
Nice.
really the pieces of pizza?
Before we were sofa versus couch, yes.
Oh my god, that's a great name.
It's we literally, so okay, for just we'll tell this story. When Sofa versus Couch was being decided on, we wrote down all the band names we could think of, and then we asked people to be like, what are the names that you hate the most? And everybody selected that one as one of their options for like, we hate Sofa versus Couch.
That's an amazing name. They're wrong. Yeah.
It was great.
I love it.
And that's why you picked it, right?
Yep.
It's a good name. Anyway.
Cool. All right. Well, of course, my name is Jake.
This has been Chris.
This has been Ames.
And this is always Caitlin.
And I'm Justus.
Keep on rocking in the free world.
I don't think we need an outro now. I think that's it.
Thank you for listening.
Yeah, I was gonna say, allegedly our God used to do a lot of talking as well. I mean, our God. By which I mean the Christian God.
Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. May kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil.
Thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen.
We don't say that as Catholics.
And yeah, the force be with you.
Yeah, I know that part just because of Boondock Saints.
Oh,
I learned the Our Father prayer with that piece because of the
they say that
Boondock
Saints?
At the beginning.
Aren't they supposed to be Catholic?
Yeah.
They don't say it, the priest says it. But yeah, the guy who wrote the movie probably just didn't fucking know anything about actual Catholics.
Well, no, I was raised Catholic, and they would sometimes do that.
They never did it ever in my church.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a preference. Maybe it's preference of the priest.
It might go back. It might be some kind of Vatican II thing. Anyway.
Yeah, we're not using any of this.
I don't know.
Never know with me.
That's true.
It's true.
Yeah.
Chris has gone mad with power.
You're just going to use the section where I say we're never going to use any of this.
That's going to be the whole episode. Just you saying that.
Every time we take a bathroom break, we just keep rolling. Mistake.
Make sure we don't mic the toilet flush.
I actually...